I got this phone call, a message, and it said, yeah, horses go over that pass, but don't go in the rain, don't go in the snow. It's got to be good weather. It's got to be dry. I was like, oh, okay. So I went and did that trip, and it was 13 days, and the first 11 days I was terrified.
Welcome to the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast.
This is an episode of the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast. Welcome to it, recording from the garage. I'm George. Scott Sunderwald here, as always.
Hey, it's so good to be here, and we've got an exciting guest tonight. So
yeah, welcome to the show, Tania Millen.
Well, thank you for having me.
Excited to chat with you because you can take a look at Tania's resume at taniamillen.com, but award-winning writer, a rider, adventurer. What do you define yourself as? Do you have if someone says, "Hey, Tania, what do you do?" For fun, what's top of the list?
Yeah, it kind of depends what I'm doing at the time, but I did ride horses for a long time, so I guess that's right up there.
Yeah.
But there were periods when I didn't ride horses, so I guess I would have a different title.
yeah, because when George sent me the notes for you, I thought, oh, this is the horse lady. And I was all excited to talk about horses, and we'll definitely get into that. But then there's this huge list of whitewater, canoe kayaking, paragliding, flying planes, rock climbing, ice climbing, archery, mounted archery, and fox hunts. And I'm probably forgetting a few. So, wow.
Yeah.
How many hours you got?
Yeah.
How many lifetimes? You got to pack it all in, right?
That's right.
You only got one of these things, so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Was the love of horses the first kind of thing you got into as a kid?
Well, how I got into horses was essentially my mom came to me one day and said, "Do you want to go ride a horse?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
I was 9.
Yeah.
And there were 3 kids in my family, and my brother's allergic to everything, and my sister's afraid of everything. So it was,
Yeah.
I think she actually wanted to ride horses. So, I got that gig
Where'd you grow up at?
in Vancouver.
Vancouver. Okay.
Yeah, I was a city kid.
City kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you go from a city kid to all this outdoor stuff?
Yeah.
Well, because the horse thing was just like, do you want to ride a horse? Yes. And then I became an addict. And, all the wilderness stuff, my dad did a lot of mountaineering, and my mom did a lot of outdoor things. So we were always doing all these outdoor things. And that's how I ended up, sort of 20 years later, putting them together and going packing.
Yeah.
Mountaineering in the North Shore Mountains there in the
Well,
around Vancouver?
he was from New Zealand, so he
Okay.
did lots there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, I think the trip of his life was he led an expedition in Antarctica, and
Well,
there's a mountain range named after him. So I grew up with all those
Incredible.
outdoor stories as well as doing outdoor things, and
what's the mountain range?
it's the Millen Range.
Millen Range.
Yeah.
No way. In Antarctica.
In Antarctica.
How do you get a mountain range named after you?
You go and lead an expedition in a blank spot on the map,
Yeah.
and you survive.
Huh. Man, I've been just reading a book about, it's called No Shortcuts to the Top. It's about this guy, he's climbing 14 mountains that are all over 8,000 meters. And it's makes me want to get out there and start climbing. I don't know if I'm going Everest or anything like that, but yeah, it's inspiring.
So did you get into mountaineering as well then? I saw rock climbing on your list and ice climbing, but that's still different than mountaineering, or do you do all of the above?
Yeah, so there was a period when I was in Terrace when I didn't ride because I'd kind of burnt out and I'd competed at a high level, and so I thought, well, I'm going to go and do all the other things that I want to do when I wasn't riding, because I was saying to Scott or George that there's really high opportunity cost with horses. They're so time consuming and so financially consuming that, especially if you're trying to compete at a high level, that you're either doing that or you're not. And
Right.
so there were this whole list of things, all these outdoor things that I sort of had some mileage with as a kid that I wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
And so that was rock climbing and ice climbing, and did lots of backcountry skiing and a bit of mountaineering, and
And the whitewater stuff.
Yeah, and the whitewater stuff. And
the paragliding.
Yeah. I tried all those things. And I mean, part of that was just looking for something that grabbed my attention as much as horses did.
Cool. But when you look at that big long list, really, horses probably jumps out most, or what is your major passion from all of those?
Yeah, I mean, horses was a long time. Horses was when I was from 9 years old to, early 20s, and then I took this 7-year hiatus and tried everything else.
Yeah.
And then I went back to them, and sort of that changed a little from the competitive world to going out in the mountains with horses.
And when you say competitive, like what was it?
So there's lots of different horse sports,
Yeah.
many of which I tried.
Okay.
And I competed 3-day eventing, which is still an Olympic sport. So it's kind of like a triathlon. So you do dressage, which is, sort of figures in a ring.
Yeah.
And then you gallop cross country over big fences. And then that's the second day. And then the third day is show jumping, which is a sport
cool.
in itself. So that was my sport. That's what I was chasing. And I competed at national level doing that.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was when you were in Terrace, or were you somewhere else?
No,
at
that was growing up in Vancouver. And then, you travel for that sport because staying in Canada isn't the best place to be doing it. So I was living in England, competing, and living in Ontario and working for a guy on the Canadian team there. And
Wow.
so I was just really driven doing all these different things.
Is that what you're doing, mounted archery too?
Well, that was actually when I took a hiatus, and then I came back to horses, and I thought I'd like to do something that was, just a little different.
Yeah.
So I kind of tried that, dabbled in that, and went, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Didn't totally grab me, so that's all right. Move on to the next thing, try something else.
Because I love horses and I love archery, but I've never put the
them
two together.
Right.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
of the Huns or the Mongols and that sort of thing, or of course
Yeah.
the indigenous people of North America. Like, what are you shooting for bows? They've got to be shorter bows, right? You can't have a big 7-foot long bow on a horse.
No, it wasn't a big long
Yeah.
bow. I don't know a lot about it. I just tried it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to hit targets as you're riding by.
Yeah. They have sort of these lanes that they gallop down because it's become a competitive field,
Yeah.
right? So your horse gallops down a lane, and you're shooting at that and shooting at that, and
Wow, that's got to be
targets
hard. Because you got the rhythm of the horse, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a would you rather based on that. So not quite a would you rather, but so besides a horse, just imagine all these animals are tame, like any animal you want. Which animal would you like to do mounted archery on besides a horse? I was talking this with the son last night. We were trying to figure out what we would do. He's thinking like a lion, maybe. Be fun.
Sure.
I was thinking maybe like an emu or an ostrich. I just think that would look
Jeez.
like,
So
that'd
you
be
could
fun.
fly as well,
bouncing along.
or
be
just
tricky.
run really fast.
Just flying along. Could you imagine seeing a guy on an ostrich with a bow shooting stuff?
I think the easiest would be elephant.
Elephant, yeah.
And actually, on that note, my son, because they're big, my sons are big into history. They sent me this clip on how many countries used elephants in warfare. I
Yeah.
had no idea it was so widespread. Like, there was a time when that was the real
what
deal.
they were using,
That was
eh?
like the tank on the battlefield.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you sit on there and it'd be pretty steady, and you're
Yeah.
not afraid of too much if you're on an elephant.
Elephants plowing
I
through a
guess
lot.
it'd be kind of hard to kill because their hides are so thick.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of mass to shoot at, but
Yeah.
And then they throw armor on top of that. So
Right.
that thing is it is a tank, right?
It just seems so slow.
Yeah.
But I guess if you get full
they
speed.
do kind of
animal.
trot along. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going elephant then?
I'm going elephant.
Tanya, you got what animal would you choose?
I don't know. I was thinking cougar. They're really
Cougar?
fast.
Yeah,
There you go.
that would be cool. Yeah, flying
I
through
don't
the
know
air.
if you'd actually be able to hit anything. You'd be going so fast.
leap 40 feet in one jump. Yeah.
And then, so on the list on your resume there too was fox hunting.
Well, yeah, because I was trying all these different horse sports, and actually there's a rationale for that because, that's something that fox hunting in England used to be like hockey in Canada,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And it was live, you're hunting for live foxes. But
yeah,
the thing about it is it's a sort of an upper class societal thing.
Right.
And I happened to get a job working for this Lady Diana in England. And my job was she rented these horses to people who came over and spent money to go fox hunting. And so my job as the Canadian was to help sort of interpret the high society, how it all worked, right?
Yeah.
Like to stay behind the master and what was sort of happening in the field. And I mean, the other part of my job was to ride all the young horses. So, yeah, I had a week there where we hunted 4 days a week. So we hunted Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and they were full days. We'd start at 8 o'clock, get dropped off from the lorry, and you'd have your horse, and you're all dressed up and have some sherry, and then you start hunting, and and you're galloping across fields and jumping, 5-bar iron gates and big brush hedges, and then about noonish, the lorry comes along. It was pre-cell phone, so the lorry has to kind of find you in the hills, and you jump off one horse and jump on the next one, and away you go for another 4 hours, and then you're done at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's getting dark, and then you ride home.
Wow.
But anyway, I had a week where I fell off every single day that week.
Oh no.
And it was just brutal because I had all these, I'm riding the inexperienced horses and the runaway horses.
Tanya, try this one out.
Yeah. So it's a fox hunt at that point without a real fox, or you actually?
Well, at that time we were hunting real foxes. And they don't anymore.
They released them for that?
Oh no, it's like each shire, each area, like each little district had its own hunt. So in Warwickshire, there was the Warwickshire hunt, and in another like shire, there was the Pytchley, and you're sort of a member of these hunts. And the hunts actually work with the landowners to find out who has a fox that they don't want, getting into their chicken coop anymore, or whatever it is.
Right.
And so they say, okay, the hunt is going to come to your farm on Wednesday, and we're going to hunt that fox that's been bothering you. And the hounds flush out the fox, and away you go. And I mean, it's great entertainment for the riders, but that's not actually what's happening at the front with the hounds and the fox is different from what's happening at the Yahoo back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do the hounds corner the fox in the end? Is that what happens?
Well, the idea is that the hounds, corner the fox and kill the fox.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the fox usually gets away.
The fox usually gets away, but there is also, I mean, it really is like hockey in Canada. There's all these foot followers, and lots of them have these terriers.
Yeah.
And so if the fox goes to ground, the terrier men come in and dig out the fox, and meanwhile, we're either sipping something, or we're heading off to the next farm where the next guy has a fox problem, and then away you go again chasing that fox.
Is that still a thing?
It's still a thing, but so I think it was early 90s, mid-early 90s, the legislation changed and there was no longer live fox hunting.
Okay.
So now it's, because it's so, I mean, it's fantastic sport.
Yeah.
Like fun sport. Now it's mostly drag hunting. So like a runner goes out dragging this stinky thing all over the hill and dale and all over the place, and then the hounds follow that.
Yeah.
So you still.
But at the end, there's no fox.
There's no fox.
At the end.
Yeah.
Man, that's
I mean,
wild.
we have that in Canada as well. Not very many. It's more
Right.
popular around sort of Ottawa, but. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention your books too, because I mean, my wife works with you, and she was saying like, oh yeah, Tanya's doing some stuff at the museum. This was, I think, over the summer there. But so Pack 'em Up, Ride 'em Out, classic horseback trips in BC, Alberta. What got you into writing? Were you always writing? Like were you doing these horse adventures? Or like, oh, I'm gonna write. I'm gonna keep a diary of it, or like how did this happen?
Yeah, I guess there's a bit of sort of family history with that. So I have an aunt in New Zealand who's a writer and a publisher now. But yeah, I mean, growing up sort of into my teens and 20s, I'd just write about what I was doing because I was doing all these weird things.
Yeah.
And then I always had it in my head that I'd like to write a book. And then the first book that I wrote was Rock on White Water, which is a guide to paddling in Northwest BC. It's out of print now. And that came about because I'd been hanging out with all these people who were paddling. There's like 10 or 15 people in Northwest BC in Terrace, where I was living, who were really into paddling. And it actually isn't my thing. I'm not a big paddler.
Yeah.
I actually don't really like water. but
You wrote a book about it.
But I wrote a book about it. But anyway, at that time there wasn't a book or anything, and a couple of us thought, oh, that'd be, we really someone needs to write a guidebook.
Yeah.
And then life sort of continued on, and 15 years later, I was in a career change, and I had like a year to not do a whole lot. And I thought, oh man, I should write a book. I wonder if that guidebook's ever been written. And so I started asking old paddling friends, and nobody had written it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do that.
Wow.
And it's actually written, like, because I'm not really a paddler, the way I wrote it was I interviewed paddlers on all the different runs.
Yeah.
Went to all the put-ins and takeouts, and I've been down some of it. And then I interviewed, one paddler about the run description, and then I talked to a few people about how they would grade it, and then I would give that piece, once it was written, to somebody else, like one or two other people, and say, what do you think? Like, you've paddled this. Is this how you would grade it? Is this how, what you think it is? And so there's a whole list of people in the back that it was kind of a community project.
Yeah.
Like, my name's on it, but
Big collaboration.
It was, yeah.
And you said it's out of print. Like, has anybody duplicated the work or updated it, or are you still the guidebook for that area?
That's still the guidebook for that area.
That's
People
cool.
still contact me and say, where do I get a copy?
Well, I was about
Wow.
to say, is there
Yeah.
any chance of rebooting it, and if
Well,
it's still the Bible for that area?
Yeah, it
right?
still is the Bible. I mean, I've talked to the publisher about that, and I could make it electronic. I just haven't bothered.
Okay, I got a would you rather that fits because we talked horses and paddling, so I'm going to throw this one in.
Right, okay.
Would you rather horseback ride downhill on loose gravel, like it's pretty bad, it's gravel scree, or canoe upstream against a stubborn current? You got to give this a time limit. Let's say an hour either way. Are you going
I'll
against the
ride-
current?
I'll
Or
ride any
You're
day.
going to ride scree?
Oh,
Heck yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you've been on some good horses, I take it? Good sure-footed horses?
Well, I didn't own my own horse till I was 29, and so all the competitive riding that I did was on other people's horses. And again, when you're borrowing horses to compete at a high level, usually you don't get the best ones. So the horse I competed at the highest level, he was really difficult. Super talented, but really difficult. So I was fortunate to have that ride, but he wasn't easy. And then when I went back to the sport, I didn't have any money. So then I was buying, and I did that for 25 years. I'd just buy horses that were, they were off the racetrack, or they were unstarted, or they were something that nobody else wanted to own. So I was always buying horses that I thought had potential, and then putting the training on and taking them out in the bush or doing whatever I thought they could do.
And were you able to change some of those bad habits and their personalities? Because some horses are just ornery or stubborn, or how did that work?
Yeah, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I produce lots of good horses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a real shift in the horse community, a really good shift, and pretty much everything that you experience from a horse has been something put there by humans. So the idea that there's bad horses is I think a load of hogwash.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have a prefrontal cortex. They don't think ahead and go, I'm going to get you. I don't like you, so I'm going to be misbehave or be bad or whatever it is. I mean, there's only a couple reasons where you get a reaction that you don't want. One is they don't understand the question. Another is they're in pain. And another is they just don't have the training or the physical ability to do what you want to do. They're very simple animals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you approach it differently, you get a different result.
Yeah, they're amazing animals. I mean, both George and I have done some backcountry horse stuff. I mean, not anywhere near the level you did. So you went from competition with horses to all this backcountry horse experience.
Yeah, well,
So
like
tell us about that.
the reason for that was I always said to myself, when I'm done with the competition thing, then I want to get back in the mountains, and I want to put horses and mountains together. So that happened in 2010. I went and took a packing course from Stan Walchuk, who is in McBride, and the reason I went to him is because I wanted to learn how to pack in a way that would get me into the swampy country of northern BC and northern Alberta.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different ways to pack, and I knew that was what he would teach, because I don't know if you know his name, but he learned to pack from Felix Plant here in Hinton.
Oh, that's a famous name.
Yeah. And then he went and did this huge trip, which he wrote a book about and videoed as well, called Cordillera, and he crossed from like the Alaska Highway, crossed the Rockies, through this, all this bush country, ended up in Telegraph Creek, and then paddled out. So, so I knew that he was going to teach me.
He was the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So how many horses would you take typically on your trips?
Well, it depends on the trip, but for me, I mean, I started out doing trips with people, and then I ended up doing trips by myself, because it was easier to find. It was easier to not try to find a partner, actually.
Okay.
I mean, if you're waiting around for someone because they have this set amount of holiday that only works on these dates, then you can't go in the best weather, which is always my idea. Was I always wanted to go in the best weather, and so anyway, one riding horse, one pack horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long a trip would it be?
Well, the longest trip I did was 3 weeks.
Wow.
That was with two other people, actually, this Kiwi couple who came up for a couple trips. But
And where'd you go?
we went from Rock Lake over to the other side near McBride.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy.
Through the North Boundary Trail or through Wilmore or Jasper? Do you recall the trek?
Oh yeah. We went. So we went through Eagle Pass in the Wilmore,
Yeah.
and then over to Brewster's.
Yeah.
And then up the West Sulphur over Hardscrabble, down Blue Creek,
Yeah.
and then on the North Boundary to Chown, and then up Chown over Best Pass and out by Blueberry.
Were the trails in pretty good shape, or what was that like?
Yeah, they were pretty good. I mean, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There was still a bridge over Twin Tree Creek, which there isn't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were okay.
And your horses did well on the bridge?
Oh yeah, I mean the horse. Yeah, I do all that training for bridges and water and
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a heck of a time once trying to get my horse to cross a
Cross
little
a bridge?
She just wouldn't do it, like just horrified. So, yeah, I don't think every horse is comfortable with that, right?
Yeah.
But you have to train, I
You
suppose.
have to train it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious then. So I haven't had a chance to read the book. We have the book. It's on order right now. So horse trips in BC and Alberta, are these all trips that you've done before that are in your book? Or like, is it kind of the same as the Whitewater?
Yeah, most
Book?
of them I did.
Okay.
There's definitely some that I didn't. They were sort of on my list and I didn't get to them.
Yeah.
But all the ones in the Rockies I did. Yeah.
So what's in the book then? Like, is it, this is a 2-week trip and this is kind of where you're going to be going? Like,
Yeah,
map it
like
out sort
how
of
that
thing?
came about was, so I started, I went to Stan's and I did this course.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I have all these skills. I want to go use them. And so I was like, so where do you go? And it was like silence out there.
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to talk to you and nobody knows. And outfitters won't tell you where their trails are. For good reason. And not many people were packing. And I mean, some of the really good information I got was from Vicki Wallace, who used to be in the trail office in Jasper.
Okay.
Because she was married to Brian Wallace, and he was a warden in the Blue Creek region. He lives in Dunster, McBride area. So anyway, I was talking to everybody that I could connect with to try to figure out where to do pack trips, and then every time I figured it out, I'd go do a trip, and then I'd write about it, and then I'd get these phone calls. So that trip you were talking about, I'd really like to go and do that. Tell us, where it starts and all that. And so then I started sending out these PDFs, right? Here it is. This is where it starts. This is whatever. And I thought, I'll just put it together as a book.
Yeah. Nice. Did you get any naysayers? Because I mean, there's times when George and I talk about ice fishing and hunting, and even if we drop a small hint of some of these places, we'll get some people writing in saying, don't be spreading the good news here.
Well, that was
or are they guarded secrets like that, or were people pretty comfortable with you sharing these special trails?
That came up more for the paddling book.
Okay.
And I actually wrote that in the front of the paddling book. I said, I wrote this because for a number of reasons, like certainly anybody who writes a guidebook gets some of that feedback.
Sure.
Like, you're encouraging people to go to these places, which are special places, and we want to keep them to ourselves.
Yep.
And I think both for the paddling book and for the pack trip book, my thinking was that if you know a place, you look after it better. And packing is such a niche sport, and so few people do it, that we actually have trails. Jasper National Park has closed trails to horses, lots of trails to horses, because they're not used by horses, and because there's nobody advocating for that.
Yeah.
So my thinking, certainly about packing, is that the more people on the trails, the better, because there simply is not going to be this overwhelming mass of people that are going to ruin trails. That's what the trails started as. Yeah. I mean, they started before that as indigenous trails, but the history of the trails, like in the national parks, is they started as indigenous trails, and then sort of the white man explorers came in and followed those trails, and then they were outfitting in there, and they used those trails, and so that's how those trails have developed. But these days they are disappearing. Yeah. And so I didn't get any of that feedback from the packing book, but the whitewater book, there was a little bit of that. Is this place is really special. It's world-class whitewater, which is true. We're going to get people from all over, and it's going to be this mass of people in the backcountry. Yeah. And there's sort of been this turnover of people. The people that I paddled with don't paddle anymore. Then another group of people came up, and then they sort of go by the wayside, and another group of people come up, and that's why I keep getting requests for this book, is because it's the next round of people, trying to figure out where to go.
That's cool, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good question. I know, like in the Muskoka up in the Northern Rockies, I don't know if this is true now, but when I was up there 5-6 years ago, those trailheads do not have signs.
At all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I personally have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I just think the same thing. You're not going to, you're simply not going to get hundreds of thousands of people in there. And if you want that place to stay as it is and be protected, and for people to understand how special it is, they need to have access to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in signage too. Like, you also have a safety issue with people just getting lost, and we've seen enough of that around here in some of our neighboring parks, with people not knowing what trail they're on and going for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't have a problem with that.
You don't mind people getting lost?
Well, probably if you're getting lost, you shouldn't be out there.
You've been lost out there before?
I wouldn't say I've been lost. I've certainly had to route find.
Yeah.
And trail find.
Yeah.
But I think I'm fortunate that I've developed good skills.
Yeah.
that's a lot of years of effort. But I think talking about risk is really interesting, and because I've done a lot of trips by myself, and that is not something that people recommend, and it's certainly in this era of risk aversion. I think it's healthy.
Yeah, getting out there on your own.
Yeah, you learn a lot. And when you think about risk is hazard and likelihood, and that does not go down when there's two people.
Yeah. So when you're out there on your own, is it like you tell your friends or family, I'll be back in 2 weeks,
for sure.
and if you don't hear from me?
Absolutely. I have a safety plan that I leave with somebody, and they know when, maybe I'm going to call in every night. Maybe I'm not going to do that on that trip.
Yeah.
And this is the day I'm coming out. This is who to call if I don't call you. This is the time to call.
Yeah.
And I carry a spot beacon, which I've used for somebody else on a trip, so I know that it works.
Yeah.
Are you doing GPS too, like Garmin or InReach or any of that? Or?
No, I think InReach is a better product. That would be my preference. But I'm actually not a GPS person. I am used to reading maps. I like reading maps.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see a lot more. I don't use GPSs. And where, most of the trails that I've ever been on don't have a GPS track anyway.
Yeah.
So if you can't find trail, you probably shouldn't be out there.
Any hairy moments that come to mind where you're like, when you're out on your own, you're like, oh man, this is...
Oh, for sure. Like the first trip I did by myself, it was it was west of Quesnel, so I had two of my horses. And I really actually don't like driving back roads because I drove a two-wheel drive and got stuck so many times that it just makes me nervous driving back roads.
Yeah.
So now I have four-wheel drive, but I'm still nervous. But, it was sort of 70 clicks up this, turn right at this, turn left at that, watch for the rock and the tree and whatever. So I did get to the right place. And then camped overnight and then set off in the morning, and it was end of June. It was super buggy, wrong time of year to be there. And I got to a place where I crossed a creek, and then it was either, go this way or go that way. I chose that way, ended up in this meadow, couldn't find the trail out of the meadow. And I was like, okay, I'll camp. And it was just so buggy. The horses were hiding in the trees. And I actually ate in my tent that night because it was so buggy, and I never do that. And I woke up in the morning and I thought, this is not fun. Like I'm by myself. I'm kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
And I don't know the trail out of the meadow, and the bugs are terrible. And I thought, I'm going home now.
Yeah.
So it was like a one night overnight by myself. That was the start of my.
That was the first one you did too?
That was the first one I did. And as I was driving home, I was like, okay, Tania, you got to go and get some more skills. Like, if you're going to do this, you got,
Did that slow you down then, or were you like, okay, for the next trip, I'll be a little more prepared, or? It
was incentive because it was either go back to try to find partners, or figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I decided to figure it out, and I went and took a wilderness first aid course, and I, did more trips with my horses, like lots of day trips. And, had lots of too many bear experiences, and the next year I went and did a trip up in the Wilmore here, similar type of trip around over Hardscrabble and down Blue Creek and around. And I didn't have a whole lot of information about Hardscrabble. I'd seen it on the map, and I was like, man, that thing's at like 7,200 feet, and it's like 3K long. It must be an awesome pass. But I didn't actually know or you could take horses over it. So I was phoning around, has anyone been over this pass? You ever heard of it?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm just going to go. Maybe I'll see it. Maybe I'll just have to turn around, whatever. And driving on my way here, I got this phone call, a message, and it said, yeah, horses go over that pass, but don't go in the rain, don't go in the snow. It's got to be good weather. It's got to be dry. I was like, oh, okay. So I went and did that trip, and it was 13 days, and the first 11 days I was terrified.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was just like on a mission, finding trail, and
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I think sometimes you just have to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you grow.
Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned wildlife.
Yeah.
Wildlife encounters with
Yeah.
horses, bears, any mountain lions, moose, anything come to mind there?
Well, I mean, horses aren't great with moose if they're not used to them, but I have had bear encounters, unpleasant bear encounters. Like I don't really like telling bear stories because I don't like to discourage people from going out there, and I really feel like if you go in the bush enough, you have more, like it's just higher likelihood you're going to have more encounters.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had some strange experiences where I've come back and talked to bear experts and said like what was going on so that I can learn and maybe do something different the next time or read the situation better.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was in Terrace. I rode in about 6K on a road that I'd been on before, and I was on a 4-year-old by myself with the dog. No, I wasn't with the dog. Didn't have the dog. And I turned around, I was riding back out, and on one side there's this great big swamp, and on the other side there's a scree slope. So it's like you're on the road or you're not going home. And this bear walked out of the bush in front of me, stood sideways on the road, and wouldn't move. And I was like doing all the things, because I always have a bell around their neck that I can turn on and turn off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So I turned the bell on, slapped the bell, bang, bang, hey bear, blah, blah, wow,
Yeah.
making all kinds of racket. Nothing. And I thought, okay, well, I'll try and push it. So I like walked towards it, and then it turned straight at me and walked towards me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not so great. So then I turned sideways, because you don't want to turn ass end.
Mm-hmm.
I turned sideways and kind of backed away sideways. Well, then it backed away sideways. Well, we did this little dance like 3, 4, 5 times, and I'm like, it's not moving.
Yeah.
Like nothing's happening, nothing's changing. So then I thought, well, I'll just wait him out then. So I just stood there, nothing. And eventually it crossed the road, and then it went into the bush, like 10 feet into the bush, and it started walking down the bush towards me. And I thought, okay, this is my opportunity. I might only get one, so I saddled over to as far over the road that I, far away as I could.
Yeah.
And then I pretended it wasn't there, didn't look, and just walked down the road. Got to where the road curved, looked back, and it's back in the middle of the road looking at me. And then we got around the curve, and I was like, gone.
Is
And
it a black bear or grizz?
it was a black bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was protecting something, if it was just a youngster didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It was very odd.
That's a wild one.
And then the most unpleasant one I had was actually just last summer in Jasper with a grizzly. And and I got bluff charged with 2 horses, that was a first.
Yeah.
And really unexpected. And it wasn't, it was just really strange because the wind was blowing towards the bear. So he should have got my scent. I saw it like quite a ways away. It just kept coming. And I don't know if it didn't see us, didn't smell us. That's what it seemed like. Because it bluff charged, and the horses spun and took off, which was
Understandable.
kind of expected.
Yeah. But they didn't
But-
throw you off.
No, that doesn't happen very often.
We've
but-
had that discussion before with horseback folks here on the podcast. And do you carry bear spray on your horse or not? And most of them
Oh, absolutely.
don't. Most of them don't, interestingly enough. And
I do,
you're an
absolutely.
absolutely.
It's on my hip.
My thinking has always been I'd rather have it. The thinking I've heard back from those who don't is they're worried it'll, get triggered somehow saddling up or what have you, and now you've got a horse that's been sprayed, etc. So they're like, no. But I'm like,
Hasn't happened in 15 years.
yeah. I'm like, if a bear comes at me and I get thrown,
Totally.
now I'm on the ground
That's
with
all
a
you
charging
got.
bear and
Yeah.
I've got nothing. So
Yeah.
in my mind, I'd like to have it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do got a would you rather based on even, we can do this 3 weeks. So say you're on a pack trip in the bush for 3 weeks. Would you rather deal with excessive mosquitoes or excessive mud? So you said you already had a buggy trip or buggy night.
Yeah, it depends on the mud. I'm okay with
Excessive
mud.
Lots of mud.
I'm okay with lots of mud. I've had one of those trips.
Yeah.
Lots of bottomless swamp. That's a hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's not say swamp, not like muskeg, just like everything you touch is mud.
Sticky gumbo.
Oh
Yeah.
I mean, that's like going into Kakwa. It's like that for 10K.
Yeah.
And Spetsizi, like I wrangled up there, and there's a section of 18K going in that's knee deep mud.
Yeah.
So
You're choosing mud over skeeters then?
Oh yeah.
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 Scott?
I am too.
Really?
Oh man, when the bugs are bad, they will drive you absolutely
Insane.
bad, and your horses too. Like
Yeah.
I had a horse try to buck me off because the black flies, horse flies in the ears.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to settle a horse down that's getting eaten alive by bugs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. How
Well, you
about
know, like up in Spetsizi, the caribou would come down to the lake, and there was a point that the bulls would come and stand on because that's where the wind was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard of whole herds of caribou stampeding because the bugs
Yeah.
get so bad they just go ballistic, right? Trying to escape.
I think I would go mosquitoes just because, like, I mean, you get the bug dope and you put it on. That's gonna help out enough, right?
I don't carry a lot of that stuff.
No?
No.
Why not?
It's just more weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say someone's just trying to get into pack horse riding right now.
Yeah.
Any like suggestions you'd have for someone, like maybe in like beginner things to bring with them?
Well, first of all, I'd say, like, people always ask, you know, do I need a special horse or a special this or a special? Take the horse that you have and that's in your backyard. I guess that's the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is, put a bell around his neck. That's really useful, and teach it how to hobble
Yeah.
and tie.
Yeah.
So as long as it can tie and hobble and has a bell around his neck, you can pretty much do everything.
Yeah,
with
you
it.
can get in there and
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do a trip next summer into the Wilmore, but the wife was saying you're getting rid of your horses, or you've gotten rid of your horses.
I did. I sold them in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's on the list now for you? You've had like such a extreme resume. What else can you add
Well, I guess
to
that's
it?
why
you
you always
looking
keep
to add
trying
to
other
it?
things, right? Well, the longest trip I've ever done is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm really fascinated by longer trips, like 6 weeks and 3 months of some description.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of bike trips, so that's probably on the agenda.
So like 3 months, not horses though. Like this would be.
Yeah, you know, I tried really hard to do long trips with horses, and I had one planned this last summer, which didn't work out for horse reasons.
Yeah.
And I just got sick of trying.
Yeah.
It's really
Just the logistics making that happen, you mean, or?
basically the horse is going lame or sick or, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I put a lot of thought into it. Do I want to wait another year, potentially have the same result? Mm-hmm. And I thought my head's just not in it. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, when you say bike trip, mountain bike?
Road bike.
Road bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
6-week road bike trip this summer, 2026.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Don't tell my boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I do want to dig into planes and paragliders too.
And
Yeah.
rock climbing and ice climbing.
Right.
We got a few things to dig into yet.
Well, I'll tell you the plane story.
Yeah.
So I'm probably older than you guys.
I doubt it.
I don't know. But anyway, when I was growing up, Top Gun came out, right?
Oh, yeah.
The first one? Mm-hmm. I watched that thing 19 times.
Okay.
And it wasn't about the guy. It was about the planes and flying planes.
Sure.
And actually apparently that movie gave the American Air Force like their biggest boost in,
Oh, yeah.
you know, people coming into
Yeah, it
the,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to fly planes. So I ended up in Florida, as you do, and just doing a horse thing. And I needed a job, and so I ended up getting this job, you know, looking after horses, and they gave me a truck, and then I was galloping race horses to actually make some money. And there was the track where I was galloping was just down the road from this little airport. And I was like, right on. So I get my cash, And I go down to the airport and I started learning to fly planes. And I think one of the coolest things, there's been a few, but one of the coolest things I've done is when the first time you solo a plane and realize that the flying is fine, but you got to land the thing.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And even though you're on the radio, you still have to do it yourself.
yeah.
So I did half my private pilot's license, and then I kind of, woke up to the idea that I didn't really have the money. And I got a job back in Canada, and so I took one of these crazy road trips where you jump on a bus, and I took the bus from Florida all the way to LA, and then all the way up the coast to Vancouver, and then over to Edmonton, because that's where the job was. And I still wanted to fly planes, but eventually when I decided to go back to school, because I had enough of the horse thing, I realized that, I didn't have the money. It was really male dominated. There weren't any jobs. And so at that time, I promised myself that I would buy a plane before I bought a car.
Wow.
But plane is, you can kind of morph that into different things. So I ended up buying a paraglider.
Right. Yeah.
I bought a paraglider before I bought a car.
Huh.
Yeah, because I love the air.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I couldn't fly planes because I didn't have the money,
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll go and learn to fly paragliders.
And what was paragliding like? Like, walk us through it. What's that like? How do you even start?
Some people like water, and I don't, as I've said. Some people like whatever it is they like, and I absolutely love the air. And so, a paraglider is actually a wing, and so you have to fly it up over your head to get it flying so that you can fly off. It's not a parachute.
Right.
Yet you have to fly it off the hill. And when you're learning, you do what's called sled rides. You fly it up over your head at the top of a hill, and then you fly it down to the bottom of the hill, basically. And then when you get
Drag
better
it back
at
up
it,
again.
yeah, and then you have a shuttle driver drive you back up. It's a bit like skiing, right?
Yeah.
But
And you need enough updraft to even make this work, right?
no, you can get it flying.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can, you reverse launch, and so you pull it up over your head basically, and that speed of it going through the air gets it flying, and then you run off the hill, that gets it flying. So now you're flying. But if you want to stay in the air, then you need hot air.
Yeah.
You
need those.
So then you learn to find
thermals,
thermals
Right.
and spiral up in thermals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've done cliff jumping, lots of rock climbing. There's always that oh shit moment where you're going off the cliff and you just get mind over matter. I'm going now. Is that what you have to put in your head when the thing's up in the air, you're standing on the edge of a precipice? I'm going. Like what?
Well, it's not a precipice.
Okay.
Because if you think of a hill like that, you have to get the thing flying, you leave the hill when it's flying. It flies you off the hill.
Yeah.
There's no jumping involved.
Okay.
So you can't actually, like if the land is flat like that, you can't launch. It doesn't work like that because you can't get it flying. So you need a little bit of a slope. Sometimes the slope's steep, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But you still have to commit. You can't.
Absolutely
You can't
have to
half-ass it or you're toast.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like especially in, if you're launching in strong winds, it's like you're gone whether you want to be or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are they easy to control?
I mean, it's like any sport these days. There's like the beginner wings, and then there's advanced wings, which are really twitchy. But the beginner wings are very stable. It's like having this big sausage over your head. It's like lumbering, and it doesn't, it doesn't go very fast. They're easy to land. Technology these days has made them quite light. So there's definitely beginner wings that are really forgiving.
Huh.
Yeah.
Are people doing that in this area? Like, have you done it around Hinton?
I haven't flown for years. It was, it's another one of those sports where you don't fly in the snow, you don't fly in the rain,
Yeah.
you don't fly when the wind's over, whatever it is that you have the skills to fly in. You don't fly when there's absolutely no wind because you can't often get off. So there's a lot of para-wading.
Right, yeah. More
And
waiting than
so-
gliding.
Yeah. I do know people are flying, or if you call it flying, paragliding in Jasper.
Oh, yeah?
And out at Switzer, right?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea of
Yeah,
it.
the
But Jasper
parks-
needs a certain certification to even allow you to. I have a friend who does
Do they
it
fly in
there.
the park?
Yeah.
I mean, I heard they got permission to fly down in Banff because Will Gadd down there is a really good pilot.
Yeah.
He's been working on that for like 20 years or something.
Yeah, no, Jasper's open for business apparently, but you do need a certain level of certification is
Right. Which
what a
makes
buddy
sense.
of mine told me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a. If I mean, that was the one sport that grabbed me. If I wasn't going to ride horses, I was going to fly for sure.
yeah. Okay, I got a would you rather on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
We're slowly going to cross some of these off. Would you rather canoe through fog so thick you can't see the water? So let's say, are we on a river? We're on a river. Somewhat technical. We got to make it a little challenging.
Tanya hates
Okay.
water.
Okay.
Yeah, and we know you hate water. Or paraglide into a cloud where everything goes silent. How dangerous is a cloud when you're paragliding?
Yeah. I mean, clouds form because stuff's going up. So, I mean, that's that was the most challenging experience I had was actually flying out of McBride and getting, when stuff's going up, it's going up whether you want to go up or not.
Oh, so you can get carried way up.
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
actually, when I was in Australia, they've had the World Championships down there a couple times, and so I went and worked at the World Championships so that I could, see people fly, and I mean, people fly into crazy things, and so I have this fantastic picture of all these wings, in the sky, really colorful, and behind them is this absolutely blackest of black cloud. And this woman, I think she was a Czech woman, she got sucked up to like 35,000 feet. No word of a lie. Nobody believed her really, because she got sucked up, passed out, and then came to the ground, and she came to.
Yeah.
And the only reason that we know that that's true is because everyone has instruments, and so your instruments record everything.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the
So-
oxygen level would just be so thin at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're over, I think it's 12.5, you're supposed to have oxygen.
Are you in danger of lightning too?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
in a thundercloud?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are you picking? The fog in the canoe or the
Yeah,
cloud?
probably the canoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, George?
Well, coming from, I mean, I want to go paragliding now. Yeah, I'm going to go paragliding through the cloud.
You are. Just cold
send
turkey.
it.
Give it. Yeah.
Well, when you're starting out, you don't know how bad it can be, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, exactly. Why, what are you doing,
I'll
Scott?
go for a good ride.
I've never paraglided. Well, I have off a boat, but maybe that's not called
Oh, it's
paragliding.
parasailing.
Parasailing.
Oh, yeah.
I've done parasailing, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's for people who are vacationing, right? But I'd probably do the canoe just because I'm more comfortable in the canoe. But that could be hairy too, going down a river, technical river when you can't see the water.
Yeah.
But the thing about water is that you can read it. The thing about air is there's very little to read.
Yeah.
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 Man, I feel like, Tanya, you just, like, whatever you do, like, from what we're learning tonight, is like you take it to the next level that people aren't, like, you go to Australia to see the World Championships for paragliding, and, like, I love it. That's,
The level of risk you're
Yeah.
willing to take, which
I'm going to ride horses, but then I'm going to be,
I'm
take
not
it
just
to
going to
the next
ride
level.
horses. I'm going to take the damn things and go for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to write a book about it.
I like that. Yeah, you're pushing yourself. But we still haven't touched on rock climbing, ice climbing. So
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Where are you
So
doing
your
that
dad's a mountaineer. And did he teach you that, or how did the climbing stuff start?
No, the climbing was just like, I mean, that's on my dad's side of the family, and then on my mom's side of the family, there's that as well. My uncle just passed away, Peter Rowett, and he, he put up roots on the lions, and he was really well known in the climbing community. He put roots up in the bugaboos. Again, for me, it was just that period when I wasn't riding horses and I was looking for something to replace that. And so it was like, well, let's go try rock climbing, right? As you
try
do.
it.
Yeah.
And then ice climbing was the same thing. I think it was something like, geez, I'd like to try that someday. And then there was a cheap flight to like Calgary from Terrace. I thought, right, I'll go down and take a course with Yamnuska down there and, you know, take an ice climbing course, learn to ice climb. And there was ice around the terrace at that time. And I had friends that climbed, and there's some really good glaciers up around Stewart, and we'd messed around on that. And I thought, well, I really need to go and get some more skills.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the stupid things I did was go out with a bunch of friends on a glacier, and they had a lot more mileage than I did mountaineering, and they said, gee, we want to practice crevasse rescue. And I said, well, I'll go ski into a crevasse.
How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? Like, you guys are all ready, right? So, yeah, we were all roped up, and I skied into the crevasse and found out it's not very fun.
I bet.
You know, like the snow comes down on top of you, and then I always skied on tellies. That was what I really enjoyed. And you know, you just kind of flailing around in there and waiting for someone to pull you out while you're wet and cold. And, you know, I mean, it's good mileage to know what that's like, but probably not very bright.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I got a would you rather on ice climbing and rock climbing, and then I want to hear some close calls as well. So would you rather ice climb while ice water rains down your neck, or rock climb while a falcon aggressively dive bombs you from above?
God, I mean, is everything like bad?
Pretty much. Yeah. That's the point of it. That's the point. They're not supposed to be comfortable.
I have climbed with a lot of spindrift, and that is not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I haven't climbed with a falcon
falcon?
dive bombing me.
Yeah.
I mean, are we top roped? Because that'd make a difference, you know?
No, you're lead climbing. We'll give you a sport climb. Doesn't have to be trad, but it's got to be a bit miserable.
I don't know. I mean, I guess with a spindrift, you're just getting wet, so
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Okay. How about you, George?
Man, I just feel like this. I'm gonna go Falcon. Yeah. I don't want this. I just think the snow coming on me, and then I'd be like, there's like an avalanche coming, maybe. You know, like it would always be there, whereas
you got a
just the
helmet on.
birds like come.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about
Both
you?
sound miserable.
I think I'm taking the bird. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not much of an ice climber. I love rock climbing, so I think I'd feel more in my element. So, did you do a lot of trad as well? I guess if you're doing mountaineering, multi-pitch, you probably were doing some trad climbing, or was it all sport?
I never led anything.
Yeah.
You know, the mountaineering was essentially ski touring with a little bit of other things in it,
Yeah.
basically.
Close calls. Like you've done so much, and for many of these, the horses, the climbing, the flying, any things that you walked away from thinking, man, I got lucky.
I think there were probably two incidences, but I do want to come back to your comment about risk, but I'll tell the stories first.
Mm-hmm.
Flying out of McBride, everything was going up that day, so there's lots of thermal activity.
Paragliding,
Paragliding,
flying?
yeah. You can tell what's happening by the shape of the clouds. The clouds had flat bottoms, so that's pretty much where everything was going up to. A good day if you have the skills to get up high and then fly cross country, which I didn't have. So we were flying off McBride Mountain there, and I launched and I'd been flying around for about 45 minutes, and then everything started going up, and I thought, oh, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could look over and I could see Mount Robson. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then it wasn't cool because I was really high, and I didn't want to be
Okay.
there anymore. And there is nothing worse than being in the air when you want to be on the ground. It's really,
So there's not much you can do to take you down, hey?
well, there is. There's a couple things you can do.
Unhook.
And
Yeah.
and not that. And,
It will work, yeah.
Something you go and do is you go and do an advanced maneuvers clinic, which tells you how to come down, what happens when your wing collapses, how to throw your reserve, practice throwing reserve and coming down under a canopy, into a lake and those sorts of things. So I'd done those things. So I knew what to do, but it's still always a little nerve-wracking, at least it was at my skill level, to collapse part of your wing,
Yeah.
which is keeping you in the air,
Sure.
because you want to come down. And so that the easiest thing to do is to pull in what's called little ears, which is like the little edges of your wing. So I pulled those in and nothing happened. I'm still going up. So it's like, okay, that's not working. So then the next thing is big ears. So they're like big flaps on the end. So I pulled in the big flaps, and then because I had a wing that wanted to keep inflating, the beginner type wing, you know, you have to actually hold them in. So there I am holding them in, you know, because it wants to fly. And I'm just coming down a little bit. And I thought, okay, I need to spiral dive as well. And so spiral diving is really fun, except if you have a tendency to pass out, which I do. So there I am, spiral diving and trying not to pass out.
Jeez.
And it's working. You know, I'm coming down, but I had a long way to come down. And so just that, you know, having to hold in the big ears, spiral dive, and I think I was probably a bit hypoxic because I'd gotten up too high. So I ended up top landing on the top of McBride Mountain rather than going down to the bottom because I was just like mentally done. And then, you know, landing and just lying there gasping for breath thinking, this is not enjoyable.
And how'd you get down from there?
Well, you can drive up to the top of McBride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we launched off there. So there were lots of people around. It was a fly-in, which is like a, you know, everyone gets together and goes flying. And
Have you ever had spots where you're like, oh my goodness, I got no good place to land? I mean, you got sometimes just trees or sharp rocks or water.
well, that's what flying's all about. Is like,
Yeah.
you have to know where your landing is for sure. Yeah, and that's the challenge. If you go on YouTube and you see what people are doing in the Alps, it's really spectacular. And it's spectacular because they're flying like across the Alps, and the way they do it is they land at some spot, hike up to the top of whatever mountain it is, launch off that, spiral up, catch the next one, fly cross country, find a landing spot, stay overnight, do the camping thing. Like, it's really amazing things that they're doing, but it's all about where you're going to land.
Right.
Yeah, like
So-
the only time you get into trouble is.
Have you always had good landing spots, or have you had some iffy spots?
I think the toughest one I had was in Terrace. We were always looking for new places to fly because like we had an awesome launch site, but they actually held the 1978 hang gliding championships there. But it was a long way up a road, so you had to have a great shuttle driver, and so we were always looking for other places to launch from, and I launched from this cut block. And I was pretty sure, you know, like if you have to land on a road, you can, but you probably break something. I was pretty sure I could make it to the baseball diamond down there, but it was a little touch and go.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. You might have a great landing spot, but you get blown off course, or it's a bit small, you know, so
Yeah,
there's no guarantee you're going to hit it,
You just don't
right?
get there.
Yeah, even with helicopters, we've had times when we're trying to touch down. The guy's like, we got to go up again. We got to find a different spot. But with a paraglider, you don't have all the.
Yeah, you're not going up again.
You're not going up again.
I mean, unless you
Yeah.
catch a thermal, which is obviously a possibility. But I mean, part of what was tough about that spot is that the trees were really tall, and so, and the space was really small, and so you had to get into that space and kind of do this, and then, you know, get to your landing.
Yeah.
And often what happens when you get below trees is the wind dies, and so now you're, you know, you just don't have as much air keeping your wing aloft, and so the tendency either is to brake too hard and you fall out of the sky, or suddenly you start zooming along and your plan doesn't work out quite like it should.
And you said you carry a reserve with you.
Yeah, you
So
always fly with reserve.
What's the reserve like?
It's a parachute.
Just a parachute.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to use it, or?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try not to get into that.
Because stuff I've seen online where people get tangled up in these ropes, it can be pretty horrid, right? And you're.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to talk to us about risk.
Yeah, I think talking about risk is really, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really important, and I think that everybody has a different level of risk that they find acceptable for themselves.
Tolerance, yeah.
And I mean, I have definitely had people say that I have higher risk, and I don't I mean, I certainly don't feel like that, and I don't feel like I've ever gone to the edge of the envelope in terms of I think I'm well within my capabilities and mental capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I just look at risk differently because it's hazard and likelihood. And so, prior to all the activities, it's going through all those processes of what's the potential, what are all these things that might happen, how are you going to address those things, and having that, really going through that step by step and thinking about it. It's not like, woohoo, let's go out in the wilderness by myself and see what happens. It's like if this happens, what do I have the skills to deal with that? If that happens, how am I going to deal with that? If that happens, what am I going to do? And a really good example of that is it took me 4 tries to get over this pass in Banff National Park, Badger Pass. It's like 8,500 feet. It's the highest pass that horses go over. And it took me 4 trips to get over that thing because I really wanted to see it. And so on the 4th trip, it's well known for having a cornice. And the cornice melts out and you can only get through that pass like August 1st. That's sort of the generic thinking. And you can always only go west to east with horses. So anyway, I was going up the west side. There's a whole long story to go with that. I was by myself, 2 horses, going up the west side, and got to the top. And there's this snow shelf. And so it's like, it goes out about 5 feet and then it drops off really steep. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, wait a minute. It's been a lot of effort, a lot of years to get to this pass. And I'd planned this trip, like this 8-day trip, to go down the other side and go up the Cascade Road and come out the Red Deer. And so my horse was just sort of standing around. So I went and took a good look, and I thought, no, I'm going to get out the binos and I'm going to see what, like if we do slide down that slow slope, what are we going to land on? Mm-hmm. Is it stable, or is it like scree, or what is it? So I got out the binos. Okay, there's the trail. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Hikers go way up over there on really steep ground, which horses can't do. Okay, that's where it goes. And then how does it look? I think it looks doable. And I'm going to go down an angle. If it's soft, if it's glacier hard, forget it. And so I thought, okay, well, I grabbed my horse, and the other pack horse was loose, and I walked out on it, and it's soft, and I thought, okay, like this is really committing, Tania. Do you want to do this? Because you're not getting back up it.
Yeah.
It's like 15 feet of steep snow.
Yeah.
Like I had a really good think about it, and I thought, it's 8 days out. I know the route's out. There's over Mystic, which I've gone before. There's out to Yahatinda, which would be a real pain in the ass. It's on the wrong side. Or there's around, I got to be able to go around and come out where I'd planned to. And so to me, that's how you assess risk, is think about all the things that could happen. How are you going to deal with them?
Yeah.
Is this something that you're comfortable with? I mean, maybe it pushes your envelope a bit, but
Yeah.
It's calculated risk.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Yeah. And I guess the other thing is that I have spent a lot of time with other people who have way higher risk tolerances than me.
Yeah.
So I don't view mine as very high at all.
Right.
Do you feel pressured in, like if you're on a trip with somebody and they're like, oh, we can do this, and you're like, oh, I don't know about this. Do you feel pressured, like, oh, I'm going then, I guess, because this guy's going, or?
It certainly depends on the trip. Like the trips that I've done in the last sort of 15 years, no. But ski touring, definitely.
Yeah.
And I was always going with people who had much higher skills than me. And so there was all kinds of things that I did that I was very uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avalanche stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I watched 3 friends, go down an avalanche.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because
That's rough.
we shouldn't have been there, and they were bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited to see what you do next.
Just living life.
Yeah, that's.
I was living life.
Oh man, it's inspiring. I love it. TaniaMillen.com. I mean, you got you can get your books there and a little bit of your bio, but it's just it's cool seeing what you're doing here, Tania. I love it.
Oh, if it inspires people to get out there, that's great.
Yeah, and I mean the concept too. I mean, I didn't really think about this before, but like telling people like in your books here, it's like, hey, go ride these trails, because if we don't, they're not gonna be trails anymore. And like people, there's been trails forever. Let's keep them up. So
Yeah.
I think that's great. Scott, you broke your bow.
I broke one of my bows, my best bow.
Yeah.
It's so dry right now, so if you're into rabbit hunting, this is the time to go, because they're glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Right? Usually there's snow on the ground and you can't find them. So I make bows, I make my own arrows, and I thought, well, I'll just take this thing out after work. Sure enough, I had a bunny lined up, drew back, smashed, the thing exploded, cut my hand.
Yeah.
That was the least of my worries, but literally I seasoned that bow probably for 3 years before I even touched it, the stave.
It was beautiful.
One little curl at a time. It was a beautiful bow. Yeah. Like it was strong enough to hunt moose, but sometimes they explode. When you make bows, there's a saying, a self bow is 9/10 broken on full draw. Like you're stressing that wood to everything. Like we're not talking laminate stuff you buy from Cabela's. This is taking a chunk of yew wood out of the forest and turning it into a formidable weapon. So I've broken more bows than I can count, but I still have some at home. I'll make more. It's just part of the game.
I've been working on our new website, so if you're listening to this, check out our new website, wildernesswavelength.ca or .com. Either one will get you there. You can leave a voicemail for us now.
Oh, nice.
So you can go there and click on and leave a message, and we'll be able to like play the messages on the podcast.
Cool.
So the question for the voicemail, I was going to say, go there, leave us a message describing your favorite bushcraft build or find sort of thing. So
Nice.
wildernesswavelength.ca. Go and check that out. Northern Rockies Bushcraft, follow along with Scott on Instagram. I mean, you're always posting pictures of your ice fishing. I mean, no tags to where you're getting them from, but...
It's always Maxwell Lake.
Right, yeah. And Tanya, I mean, I want to get you back on after you do your 6-week bike trip or whatever you do this summer.
Right.
I'm excited for that. And then, Christina ordered some books through the museum too, like your pack 'em up and ride 'em out horseback trips. So we got some of those books coming in.
Oh, good.
I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on today.
Yeah, for sure.
This is sweet.
Thank
Very
you.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for chatting with us.
I love the dig into things, because sometimes like I'm bad for that, where I'm just kind of like touching, dabbling into things, but not like going deep. Where it seems like you're like, hey, I want to do paragliding. Let's go. Let's do the whole thing. Which is a great way to do it.
Jump in head first.
Yeah.
Well, try it out. I mean, you just never know what's going to grab you, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some things totally don't. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But rafting or canoeing and kayaking not really
whatever.
grab you up, but
Well, I mean, I'm doing a paddling trip this summer, so I guess it's not that bad.
yeah, grabbed you a little bit. Yeah, that's great. Okay, and if you are listening to this, leave us a review too. And as I mentioned, check out our website, wildernesswavelength.ca. Okay, until next week, stay wild.
Wilderness Wavelength.